joys of working on this programme, and that was when it was Lead Wales 10 years ago, and as it morphed into ION, is the opportunity as a facilitator to learn as much from the delegates who come through our programme as they ever do from us. We take a lot of learning, but we also build strong friendships, and cohorts that go through ION and went through Lead stay friends for life, and hopefully make business mentors of each other. So sitting here today, we have, in no particular order, Ryan Miles. Miles Hire, which he directs in partnership with his brother Darren, is a proud, independent, second-generation, award-winning Welsh business that specialises in providing tool hire and plant hire across South Wales. It was started in Swansea by their father David Sidney Miles, branded as DSM, back in 1988. And of course Ryan was just in short trousers at that point. And since then the company has gone from strength to strength, currently with 3 branches across South Wales. Ryan and his brother Darren graduated from Lead Wales in 2015. In the middle there we have Raina Davis, a proud friend and supporter of both Lead Wales and ION leadership. Raina and her husband Ashley are the founders and directors of the award-winning A&R Cleaning Services. As their website reports, they started from humble beginnings in 2010. But oh my goodness, have they come a long way since then. Over the past 2 years, their business has quadrupled, both in terms of staff and contracted clients. They now employ 200 members of staff, all from the local area, and have over 200 regular cleaning industrial contracts, with offices, schools, and venues amongst their clients. Raina and Ashley graduated from Lead Wales in 2014. And last but certainly not least, Joanne Juliff, founder and MD of Empower Health and Wellbeing Coaching. Launched in November 2018, that's right, just last year, with her first clients in January 2019, this year. Joanne has to date coached 87 people to achieve their 5K park runs from a no running history at all. By the end of this month, that will be 107 people who have graduated to a 5K level of running. On top of that, many have gone on to then run 10Ks, half marathons, and one is even signed up for the next London Marathon, running for charity. But as Joanne is always reminding me, her company and her ethos, it's not about running. In another aspect of her business, she has delivered in 30 weeks of flying start well-being sessions across South Wales to families and individuals who are looking for that spark of inspiration, that understanding of well-being that will sustain their families going forward. All in all, another one-woman powerhouse. Joanne graduated from ION Leading Growth in December 2018. So she started her company before she graduated. And what we thought we'd do was, rather than put each of these, although they're all accomplished speakers, through presentations, but we'd ask them the sort of questions you might want to know the answers to. First question, and I'm going to ask each of them this. What inspired you to start your own business?
Well, I was pretty lucky that there was an established business to join, really. So it was opportunity that really I had. My father had an established base with my brother, so it was the opportunity to come and join them and see what we could make all together. It was a great. My father had built a base for us to work on, so it was sort of like just sort of trying to take it to a different level then, really. So that was the most exciting part for me, really, as to join it. So.
So for me, some of you might already know, I had my children at quite a young age. So I had my children at the age of, I was 15 falling pregnant and 16 having my first child. So for me, it was always the disappointment that I let people down. I think it was just that burning desire that I had a care job, and it was just that burning desire to do something that was for me and to be able to give my family and my children a better life. So sort of in work that just never went away, and I was providing care, and I just thought, what is it that I'm good at? And when I looked at the skills that I had no GCSEs, so education wasn't my strongest point. I shouldn't really be saying, well, actually, I am talking about that, isn't it? Yeah. Education wasn't my strongest point, and for me, it was just that burning desire to just go out there and make a difference. And that's when it all started in 2008. I was 23, and I was doing the ironing in the house one evening, and I thought, you know what, I can actually iron. I wondered if in the middle of a recession people are going to want me to do ironing, and it all stemmed from there really, a little ad in the shop, and that's where the business I've grown from really. So yeah, that's what inspired me, was my children, my family, and about proving that no matter what your background is, you can achieve whatever it is that you want if you put your mind to it. So that was the driving force for me.
Raina should come to my sessions, because that's exactly what I tell all my clients. You can be anything you want to be. I basically was inspired to start my own business after never considering it. When I did the ION leadership course, and I was the only person in the room that didn't have a business, I just came with someone as basically a security blanket, and I was making apologies for wanting to take over because everybody had a business and I didn't. And Kim said to me, "You should play to your strengths." And I realised, I looked around, that I could do things that people in the room couldn't do. And that was inspire people and organise and lead and all those things I'd spent my life apologising. I realised that perhaps other people couldn't do it. And so at 45 years old, I realised that all those things I spent my life running away from and, as I say, apologising for, actually, if I just played to those strengths and discovering that people would pay for it, it was great. And since then, it's just grown from strength to strength. But I just feel as if for the first time ever, I can be exactly myself and pass on entirely what I believe in passionately, the way I live. And other people don't do it or can't do it or do it the way that I do. So having my own business has just been like the best thing ever. But if I hadn't done the course, then I think I'd probably still be apologising if I wanted to take over all the time. I don't know.
Thank you. Okay, we had a little bit of a run through earlier, and the next question was one that caused a little bit of squirming, and I think it's part of us as a culture that we don't actually want to admit that some things do come easily to us. Ryan, you know which one I'm talking about. Can we pass the mic to you? And the question was simply, did leadership come naturally to you? Brian, tell them what you told me.
The problem was, how do I answer that without someone like an arse? But it was the leadership, wasn't it? I knew I had a sort of a taste for leadership. Like even when I was younger, my group of mates, if they wanted to organise to do something, right, where we going, what we're doing. So I sort of always knew I had a bit of I knew I had that skill to pull people together and do something. My problem was which way do we lead, and I think for me that was the biggest turning point doing the Lead Wales course or the Iron course. Was it taught myself, my brother, how to take your leadership skills and actually how to put that into your business. Really, I mean, it sounds obvious, but it's not. It's a real challenge because you're especially when the construction industry is such a difficult industry to pull from pillar to post, and how to inspire people, how to put your business plan together, how to plan meetings, all these things that sound so simple. We were far from not doing, So the leadership part was okay, but it was just how we lead is I found the most inspiring from the ION. So.
Lovely. And Raina, then you picked up that conversation when we were talking. We were saying that is leadership a job with a title, or is it about actually playing to your strengths and then finding others within your team to play to their strengths? Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, I think there's so much out there at the moment that you see that people need to run their own business to be successful, and I really don't think that's the case. I think it's amazing that people go out and start their businesses. But I think it's also amazing that people go out there and give people the opportunity to work in their businesses. Not everybody wants to lead a team, not everybody wants to have that stress of when they clock off from work, you know, the 24-hour emails, the staff not turning up, not everybody wants that. So I think it's amazing to be able to lead a team, but also give people the opportunity under yourself to whether they lead their teams or just set an example. And I think something I've always been passionate about, and I still am to this day, is people development. I just love the fact that we're able to give people the opportunities to go through. A couple of our staff have been through various leadership courses, and to watch them grow and watch them develop, I think that's something that I'll always be passionate about. Just seeing them go to meetings where they sit there and they actually say to themselves, I can't do this, I can't lead a meeting. And then 2 or 3 months down the line, they don't shut up in a meeting and you just sat there and you're like, hang on now. So I've had tears, I've had stress, I've had, I can't do this, there's not enough time. And actually, that's all they needed was that confidence to be able to go out there and deliver that meeting. So I just think just watching your team grow and giving them that vision and getting them on board is just, I just think it's amazing. So not everybody has to be the directors of their own business. To be successful, you can be extremely successful working in a business that gives you the opportunity to be yourself as well. So I think from a leadership point of view, I think that's really important to allow people to be themselves in your business. Not wholly, we have some crazy people working for us, so we've got to reel them in a bit, but I think they're allowed to have a personality as well. I think that's really important.
That's brilliant. So I hope Joanne won't mind me sharing with you that she's had so much success so far that as yet she doesn't recognise it, and actually sits there today going, oh, I'm not sure I've got the right to be here. Because she's still at that wonderful stage of a new entrepreneur who thinks success has been accidental, as opposed to a combination of doing things that come naturally and learning to love those aspects of yourself. So with Joanne, we moved on to say, what gets you out of bed in the morning? What drives you?
Oh, this was an easy one, because the ability to make a difference, again, I said about recognising that I could do things that maybe other people couldn't do as well. But I'm really good at inspiring confidence in people, and when you inspire confidence, like in my clients, whether they run or whether they make decisions to, I don't know, go back to education or not, or it really is no feeling like it. And just an example of that was they did the park run a couple months ago, and there were 43 people all dressed in purple, and somebody said, "No, you're really proud," and I was like, yeah, I'm sort of proud, yeah, because you know they're all proud of themselves. What makes me really proud is when I run and I want to stop and walk, and when my people that I've taught say to me, "Come on now, you can get up that hill," and I'm like, I'm almost in tears, but you're doing what I taught you. Do you know what I mean? But they believe it. It's being able to instill confidence in people that they can then have that confidence to instill in others. That making a difference is just, well, I say it just makes all the difference, and yeah.
Absolutely. And for me, listening to the three of you and working alongside you all, it's been watching you willingly and voluntarily reach down to work with people who you don't even think need a leg up or advice or help or support. But also never to be afraid to reach up and go, what else out there don't I know that's going to help me drive my business? So lovely ethos. Okay, so Miles, one thing you wish you had known before you started your business or before you took on the family business, even more daunting?
Training, to be honest. People underestimate the fact that you should train your staff, and especially, again, courses like this, you know, how you actually inspiring the staff below you. We sort of, a lot of firms don't push away from trying to get their staff involved in training, in bettering themselves, and we had to, again, after doing the Iron course, we really try to set down a bit of a plan for all the senior members of staff to go on courses that would be that they would get the benefit from and allow them to grow. And then so when we have meetings, that they all feel comfortable and to add something to it. They're confident in what they've been doing. So that training is a big aspect in business. I think it's and perhaps people don't really take enough time to, because it is to pull members of staff off what, you know, your busy business to try and find 6 months to it's difficult, but it is absolutely, you definitely get the return from that.
Sure. Smashing, thank you. Raina, what would you say is the secret of your success as a woman, as a businesswoman, and as the director of a very successful company?
It probably, as a woman, stubborn is probably the first thing I would say. I don't know many women in my life who are not stubborn. I think just having that tenacity and that sheer drive to be able to just make a difference and watch your team grow around you, I think that's sort of, for me, that's the biggest thing. What was the question then?
What's the secret of your success?
Oh, the secret. Oh yeah, I just think it's just pure hard work. If there's a business out there that would sit in front of me and say they've had it easy, they've never wanted to quit, or they've never wanted to give up, or they've never been let down, I really need to have a conversation with you, because I would love to be in your shoes right now. I think for anybody, when you're leading a team or you're managing a team, you're in charge of a team of people, that headache, I think, is constant, you know. People lay you down, people say they're going to do one thing and they don't do it, and I suppose that's the reality of business, and I think the secret is just not giving up. I think if your vision and dreams are big enough, and you're prepared to put yourself outside of that comfort zone, you 100% will just keep going no matter what it is. And there has been several times where I've just got up in the morning and said, well, got to bed at night and said, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. I've been on Indeed and I've looked for jobs, and then I'm like, oh, no, that doesn't suit. Oh no, that doesn't suit me neither. And you know, and those are genuine situations that I've been in as a business owner, and I just think it's sort of important to all of us that that's the reality of business. But I think if you've got something strong enough inside and there's a vision there, just don't give up, just keep going, and that's been the secret to where the business is today, is just not giving up and admitting that you don't know everything, because there's people in my business that, bloody hell, they are amazing. They literally, I look at them and I'm like, how on earth did you just do that? You know, and I think it's about building that team around you that is so strong that even if they know something that you don't, you treat them so well, they just don't want to leave your business. And we've seen that several times where some of our key members have been poached and offered higher salaries, and they haven't left, because I think ultimately it comes down to how we've treated them. And I think, again, it's about building that real strong team around you to help your business grow.
That's brilliant, thank you. And Joanne, you're not going to like this, because I am going to put you on the spot. You're a newbie, a new entrepreneur. You're doing it solo. Little you. What's the secret of your success? How have you got 107 people to want to do a park run? They're none of them sporty types, if I remember rightly. Tell us a little bit. What is at the root of this?
I think it's the lady in the university, the director of the Health and Wellbeing Academy thing. I was speaking to her this one day, and she said to me about, what is it you believe in? Well, I sort of went off on one, and then she said to me, so you've got a philosophy then? Like, yeah, philosophy according to Joanne Jewett. Yeah, and I spent all my life having this philosophy, but never feeling as if I could tell everyone. And within power, yeah, I honestly believe anyone can achieve anything. And I think when people come to me, categorically they're not allowed to be able to run. I mean, I still have sneak through now because they want to be part of Empower, so they sneak through, and I don't know they can run, but they just want to be part of us. I'm like, all right, okay. But it's that thing about if you want something badly enough, and it's funny because I was thinking, like business, but if you want to do something, you can. And I learned to run 4 years ago, and it changed my life. So despite all the curveballs with life being tricky, because it is, running taught me that I couldn't run and then I could. And if you apply that to everything, all those things you can't do, you can. You might have to try hard or work hard or give up something, you make choices. So I have this philosophy, so Empower has a well-being philosophy, which is that you can do whatever you want. And some of the life-changing choices that my members have made have just simply blown me away. So the secret to my success is that philosophy And my one rule is there's no grizzling.
That's because you've got 3 children then.
No grizzling, but it works because people come to us and they're not allowed to grizzle, and positivity is a choice. And it works.
Brilliant, thank you. Let's leave the mic with you. How do you measure your success?
Oh, the amount of people, it's easy, the amount of people who change their lives after coming into contact with me. And I knew I've always done that. When I worked for Weight Watchers, people changed their lives when they used to come to me. And it was nothing to do with eating or food or anything, but they started to believe they could do it. And now I've made a business out of that. So the amount of, the changes people have made, and they come back and they say, oh, I did that, or I thought differently about this, or I started to believe that it wasn't me, because, listening to other people. So yeah, the amount of, I've got a success book that I write in.
Brilliant, thank you. And one of the things that Joanna shared with me in the past is she has no desire for more children. She has 3 gorgeous kids of her own. So these people who graduate from her Empower Park runs go on to set their own goals, to set their new athletic targets or their business or life or family targets. And it's not a question of you hanging on to them and creating an Empower ongoing club where people keep coming. You let them fly, and that's very special to see.
But they don't want to leave.
I know.
So that's sort of blown me
That's
away.
the next technique.
But the plan was that I would send them out when they would go, but they don't. They want to stay, so we've got members now.
Miles, you said something which I know was a quote from somebody else that we had a brief chat about earlier. How do you measure success?
Well, it's a difficult one, that really, isn't it? But I mean, the pride in the business really is the pride in trying to push the brand forward. That's some of the stuff that we've sort of looked at really is how you measure success. Somebody said, I was listening to an interview a couple of months back, and they said that how do you know you're successful? Well, he said, I know I'm successful, but how much time off I can have? And I was, I'd never heard anything like that, so that was quite interesting. So what made me think is that, well, actually, the further back you can go from your business, so to allow you more freedom, well, that in itself is success. It doesn't have to be financial or driving a nice car or anything like that. Obviously, financial is the point of every business, but you can actually spend more time with your family, doing other projects, working with other people, doing other things. That could be a measure of success as well.
Absolutely, and those who've been through Lead Wales or Ion Leadership will know that we steal a phrase, a well-honed phrase, and that's working on your business or working in your business. And to own and to lead a successful business, it's a conscious decision to work on it, not always in it. Yeah? Okay. Anything to add to that, Raina? How do you measure success? We've talked about people not leaving who've been offered a new opportunity. Any other things?
Yeah, I think the people is what make our business, because if you took all our management team away, as of from now, we wouldn't have a business. So it is, I mean, for me, I don't sit there and I don't look at zero every day. I'm not money, I don't look at the pennies coming in or the pounds coming in, and I don't chase the money, I chase the people, the opportunities, watching somebody go from, a lot of our staff maybe are young mums or dads, and they're just trying to make ends meet, and they work in day jobs, they've got evening jobs with us because they need a second job because they haven't got enough money. So it's just all about the people for me, just seeing the people, seeing how the job, how they value the job, how they appreciate the job, and how we make them feel. That's what it is for me. That's success for me, is the people.
That's lovely, thank you. And because we all learn, or I certainly learned, particularly whilst cutting my teeth on this programme, that one of the key differences between being a manager and being a leader who's going to have longevity is actually not just looking short term, every day thinking medium term, and quite often thinking long term, so having your eye on the future. And I'm going to close just by asking each of you to briefly tell us, what next? What's the next thing you're aiming for?
I think it's really important, no matter what stage you are in your business, to set goals. At least your team know where they kind of go in. You see people go around in circles often because there's no clear direction, there's no vision, and there's no goal setting. So I think it's about being really transparent. We hold meetings once a year, which is more of a strategy meeting. We bring all the management team in on that, and they get to share their views, but they also get an idea of where the business is going. For them, sometimes they see that as, oh no, does that mean I'm going to be more busier? It does, short term, but then it means we're going to bring in another commercial manager or another support officer, or so it's about getting them to understand that yes, you're going to hit a peak, you're going to be busy, it's going to be stressful, but then we'll bring somebody in and you're going to have quite a few months or a few weeks of having loads of time. So it's about getting them to understand that as well. For us, we do have big plans. We want to get to a point where we're turning over £5+ million. In the last year alone, we've gone from just over 1 million to 2 million turnover, and I think for us it's just about constantly growing our business, but also ensuring that we don't decline in level of service and standards we're delivering, because it's great having business growth, but if you're losing the back end of your clients because you're not looking after them, then there's actually no point in putting a plan in place to grow. You just as well stay as you are and look after what you've got. So I think it's really important about looking after the clients you've already got, and looking for new additional clients, and that's our plans really, just to continue growing, and watch our team grow around us and watch them move up the ladder.
Joanne?
So moving forward, I'm really passionate about spreading the well-being word. I think that there's a massive emphasis on mental health first aid at the moment, and I think that we need to step back and encourage employers to start looking at well-being, being more proactive. So my next sort of step is just trying to convince people, but not sort of, but just getting the word out there, sharing. But if employers bring in well-being practitioners at an early enough stage, we can massively help with absenteeism and stress and so on. And I feel really passionate about that, and I think we're sort of missing the train a little bit. I'd also like a really nice car.
And am I right in understanding some research is being carried out?
Oh yeah. We've got a full-time master's research student from Swansea University. We've been successfully bid for KES funding. So we've got a full-time student attached to the business who's going to basically research the impact of our Learn to Run program on people's well-being, because it's not about running, it's about well-being, and it's just about spreading the word. And I feel really passionately that really we sort of closing the door off the horse has bolted, and really if employers bring in people like myself, where we can talk about a philosophy of looking after ourselves before it gets too late, you'll be saving yourself loads of money.
Thanks, Thanks, Joanne. And finally, Miles, what next?
Well, the continuing growth is obviously our key part, but what we've really looked at is actually going back a little bit and looking at what started Malasai and what makes it special. The service part, how do you carry on growing but maintain the service? So that's what we've been really doing, looking at our customer journey really, and we spent the next sort of 6 months on that, and that's been our target. And taking my holiday analogy, I suppose really if more time off would be nice.
That would be terrific. Thanks, Miles. Okay. I have thoroughly enjoyed that. I love listening to these guys. There's only so much you can learn from management books. Talk to the managers around you, talk to the leaders and the business owners around you. If you're thinking about starting your own business, Raina said earlier to Joanne, you have no idea. There will be people in the audience today who've not yet actually even crystallised their business idea. But inside them, they're thinking, oh, yeah, I'm not mad on employment. I'd like my own business. So think about talking to people around you about how you can do that, how you can generate business for the Welsh economy, how you can generate employment for the Welsh economy, how you can use your accidental skills and the things that life throw at you, including 15 and pregnant with your first child, and turn them into a triumph that adds value, opportunity and employment to others around you. I'd like you to put your hands together, please, to thank these amazing